Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this channel, we talk a lot about primary care and sports medicine topics. So today we're going to talk about COVID vaccination. I know guys, I know you're all tired. I'm tired too. I also want to throw away my mask. I also want to go to a lot of gatherings and vacations and things like that. But certainly COVID cases are still rising. And part of our reason for the rise of the COVID cases is people not getting vaccinated. In the last 2 weeks, I've had so many questions from my patients when I'm trying to counsel vaccines, a lot of misinformation. And that misinformation is guiding the decision making. My goal here is not to force you to get the vaccine. My goal here is to educate you so that you can make an informed decision when it comes to vaccine. So let us talk about basics a little bit before we talk about the types of vaccines that are available. We have a genomic DNA, and the DNA will produce what we call as a messenger RNA, also called as the mRNA. So think about the DNA is putting out a code, and the code will say something. So let's say the code might say build more muscle, and the muscle is a protein, so it'll produce more protein, that is muscle protein. So basically what happens, the mRNA is going to produce protein, and that protein is going to be released into your body. So let us talk about how the vaccines were developed. So the first thing that we'll focus here is when you look at the COVID viral particle, we see what we call as a spike protein. And that spike protein is how the virus enters your body. So once you have your body that can fight the spike protein, then you're not likely to get infected. So how do these vaccines work? Let us take an example from Rocky Part 3 movie. In this movie, Rocky, our hero, loses the fight in the beginning with Lung. Rocky did not know Lung's strength, and he underestimates the opponent's strength. Same as your fighter cells right now, underestimating our opponent, the COVID virus. Rocky meets Apollo Creed, who agrees to help him win the fight as he understands the strength of the opponent and he says he can train him. Same here, our scientist has worked tirelessly to develop the vaccine. They found that spike protein is the strength of the virus that defeats us, and they purified the spike protein and they developed the vaccine. Now, the vaccine is our Apollo Creed. Apollo Creed trains Rocky and he gets stronger. He probably has a lot of pain from training, but who cares? He's getting stronger. So is the vaccine. It gets into your system and it starts training your fighter cells, your B cells and T cells. You might have fever, chills, swelling of lymph node, myalgia, which is body aches, but who cares? After your vaccination series, your fighter cells are ready for the fight against COVID virus. During the fight, we all want to knock out our opponent with our first punch. Fortunately, that happens with vaccination too, where you come into contact with COVID, but you do not get infected. But unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't happen that way. Like in the movie, where Rocky fights with Lung, where he has to go multiple rounds to win the fight. So with COVID, where you still may get infected with COVID after vaccination, your fighter cells may take some time to defeat the virus, but in the end, it will come victorious in preventing hospitalization and complications from COVID. Like in the movie, in the end, your family is happy and so am I. So now let us talk about the vaccines that are available. So we have the mRNA vaccines. So the mRNA vaccines are basically, think about, we just taking the code of the spike protein, and then that is being given to you, and then the body will start to produce protein based on the code, and this protein is a spike protein, and the body starts producing the fighter cells against the spike protein, and then great. So people start worrying about causing DNA mutations because I think it's because they hear the word RNA, but remember about the basics, the mRNA is just a code and it's going to become a protein. The mRNA cannot get into the DNA to cause mutations. The next type of vaccine is where you're purifying the viral DNA and then they put in a virus, usually adenovirus, which is inactivated, which means that it cannot cause infection, and then they give it to you. And then that viral DNA will produce mRNA and will produce protein. Again, the DNA is not going to go into your own DNA. It just goes inside and starts producing the mRNA. And then the mRNA produces a protein and then you start to produce fighter cells against the protein. So the another one is where you just purify just the protein alone, the spike protein, and then you give it to the body and then you produce the fighter cells against the spike protein. The available mRNA vaccines are Pfizer, Moderna. The vaccines that uses the spike protein gene are the University of Oxford AstraZeneca, and the purified protein vaccine is the Novavax. Again, the most common vaccines available in the United States are the Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, and Moderna. Remember, like we talked in the Rocky movie, where sometimes a person can go up to round 4 before they defeat the virus. So until you're fighting, you have the infection ongoing, which means that you can spread to another person. And let's say if the another person is not immunized yet, then they can likely lose the battle. So make sure you follow these CDC recommendations. Until then, goodbye, and I'll see you in my next video. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want to watch more informative videos like this, please click the subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video. Until then, bye-bye.